The leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement, Premier Mark Brantley, is calling on division voters to be focused as general elections loom ahead for citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis. On one of his recent Facebook postings, Premier Brantley had advice for division voters as he made reference to a cabinet meeting he said was called by PLP Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, who Brantley stated no longer enjoyed the support of the majority of his colleagues in PAM and CCM. In the Nightmare posting, Brantley, a minister in the Federal Cabinet of St. Kitts and Nevis, wrote in part, quote, "My advice to divisions is to stay focused. My advice to my friends in NRP is to don't let any paymaster in St. Kitts tell you which candidates you can run. Divisions are not for sale. My advice to CCM is increase the momentum. Night run till morning catch them, and sure as night follows day, we will have an elections very soon. When that happens, some will discover that money, no matter how much, may never trump principle, and those who covet power above all else will surely lose it." End quote. With a motion of no confidence against Dr. Harris in the hands of the Speaker of the National Assembly, some political pundits believe that the dissolution of Parliament could come shortly. Glenn Bard reporting for Skn Newsline.
Sam Condor was one of the chief architects of Team Unity when he resigned from the government led by then Prime Minister Dr. Denzil Douglas in 2015. Now that the coalition is falling apart, Mr. Condor, in an interview with Skn Newsline, is offering his take on why the coalition is where it is today.
It's clear that the Team Unity experiment has failed miserably. And I think it is time to go back to the people, time to go back to the electorate to get a decision, a view from the country as to who should take the country forward. It is clear that this Team Unity administration is incapable of moving the country forward.
But when asked where he thought the coalition went wrong, Mr. Condor was evasive in his response.
Well, it went wrong because I don't think that people were genuinely interested in going forward, in moving the country forward. I think it was a selfish, self-centered, greedy approach in terms of dealing with the problems of the country. It was not a genuine, sincere attempt to move the country forward.
In the last elections of 2020, Mr. Condor threw his support behind the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party and made amends with its then leader, Dr. Denzil Douglas. Mr. Condor served as Deputy Prime Minister in the Denzil Douglas administration and was leader of government business in the National Assembly. He most recently served under the Team Unity administration as ambassador to the United Nations. Andre Huey, Skn Newsline. When visiting St. Martin, you want clean, affordable accommodations. You need Midtown Motel in the heart of Phillipsburg, a place where you can relax, take a stroll on Great Bay Beach, and that provides you easy access to great shopping. Midtown Motel, located on Front Street, Phillipsburg, St. Martin. Call Midtown Motel at 721-542-0614 and book your stay today.
The Skn Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips.
Come get your fresh smoothie at Master Mix Smoothie in Bastyr at 2 locations, the Bastyr Public Market or under the arch at the National Museum. Get a fresh, all-natural, healthy and tasty smoothie with flavors of your choice. Master Mix Smoothie knows the flavors that you like and mixes it all up for you the way you want it. Master Mix Smoothie, 2 locations, the Bastyr Public Market or under the arch at the National Museum. Master Mix Smoothie, Always the real thing. Always smoothie.
Nestled between evergreen mountains and the Caribbean Sea on the island of St. Kitts is the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center. With breathtaking views, a rugged, beautiful shoreline, and immaculate manicured gardens make this the perfect location for your holiday, event, or wedding. With a large convention center, apartments with balconies providing stunning views, and a secluded cottage for larger family groups or honeymooning couples looking for some privacy. We have something for everyone. Book your stay at www.millhouseskn.com or visit our Facebook page, the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center, an oasis of tranquility.
Should people in St. Kitts and Nevis be alarmed at the rise and fall of COVID-19 cases nationally? International news media continue to monitor the restrictions in China that is experiencing new COVID-19 outbreaks. In Jamaica, it was confirmed recently that the new, more transmissible strain of the Omicron variant was discovered there, sparking a rapid increase in cases. So, should the authorities and people in St. Kitts and Nevis be concerned that a new wave of COVID-19 could overtake the nation? Former Chief Medical Officer Dr. Patrick Martin says that everyone should continue to exercise caution, but not panic.
So what is happening now are sister variants of Omicron called sublineages. There was the Omicron 1, now it's 2, they would now dealing with 4 and 5, so the virus continues to mutate, which it does naturally. And what do we have to do? Try to keep up, protect ourselves to the extent possible. And as the virus mutates or changes, we have to adjust our behavior.
Currently, anyone visiting St. Kitts and Nevis must be vaccinated against COVID-19, and unvaccinated nationals and residents must quarantine. Travelers are also still required to fill out a travel form online, produce a negative COVID-19 test, and must be approved before being admitted into the country. But despite these best efforts, Dr. Martin believes we cannot stop the virus from entering our borders.
It is clear that you cannot stop this virus from entering the country. But since the original virus, we knew that a significant percentage of infected people do not show any symptoms. It cannot be stopped. We can only try to control, protect the most vulnerable. And we can do that. And we have done that to some degree. And we have to continue to do that through public health measures that are tried and true.
New estimates from the World Health Organization, the WHO, show that the full death toll associated directly or indirectly with the COVID-19 pandemic between January 1st, 2020 and December 31st, 2021 was approximately 14.9 million. Dr. Anthony Fauci, chief medical advisor to U.S. President Joe Biden, said the United States is no longer in the grip of the COVID-19 pandemic, despite the coronavirus continuing global threat. He admitted, however, that the virus is still present in the U.S. and that precautions should be taken. Andre Huey, Skn Newsline.
The St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party's newest and only female candidate, Marsha Henderson, called for the return of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party to government, saying the problems in the team unity government cannot be allowed to continue. Henderson was opening her campaign office on the corner of Shea Lane and Central Street, where residents of the constituency and party members gathered to support Henderson in her bid to win the Central Bastia constituency seat. According to Dr. Terence Drew, leader of the Skn LP, Henderson will serve all of the people of constituency number 2 with integrity.
She brings with her a freshness, a newness. She carries with her the hope of a new day here in St. Kitts and Nevis, especially when we see what is taking place in our cabinet, when we see what is taking place with the government. A lot of people are embarrassed by what is taking place. But without getting too much into their quarreling, I want to say to the people of constituency number 2 and to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis that Marsha represents a new day of representation that would be a course based on the principles of good governance and integrity in public life. That is what Marsha brings to the people of constituency number 2, and that is what she will bring as the next parliamentary representative for constituency number 2 after the next general elections.
Commenting on the political situation within the Team Unity government, Constituency 2 SKNLP candidate Henderson believes the situation must end by way of general elections.
The long and short of all this is that the government is in chaos. This chaos in the government has created instability, fear, doubt, and hardship in our population. In the meantime, the Prime Minister attempts to rule by decree without the consent of the Cabinet in an attempt to buy votes. This situation cannot continue, and therefore our party, the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, must ready itself for the general election. It is clear that the Labour Party event, which is the launch of the candidates at the Kuno Conference Centre, along with the Labour Weekend activities, suggests that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis are ready to return the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party to government.
The SKNLP has launched a full slate of candidates to contest the 8 seats on St. Kitts. Glenn Bart reporting for Skn Newsline.
If you're looking for a place to host that special event, conference, meeting, social event, party, whatever the occasion, your best option is the Millhouse Convention Center in Palmetto Point, St. Kitts. Located on the picturesque Garvey's Estate, the Millhouse Guest House Convention Center has enough space for outdoor events overlooking the Caribbean Sea. If you're looking indoors, the center is equipped with amenities needed to make your event a success. And by combining both spaces, you're sure to have a memorable event, no matter the occasion. Call the offices at Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center to book your next event on simply the most beautiful place in St. Kitts. Call 668-1392. Millhouse Convention Center at Garvey's Estate, Palmetto Point, St. Kitts. Making your event memorable. It's the new and improved Skn Newsline Android mobile app. With the Skn Newsline app, you can watch your news reports, the Skn Newsline Newscast, sports, special features, and so much more. You can also send us a WhatsApp or call us directly. Go in the Google Play Store, search Skn Newsline, and download the app today. The Skn Newsline mobile app. News on the go.
An open interactive event can be described as
tremendous, effective,
on par with any conference around the world.
From exhibitions to trade shows, corporate events to product launches, from press events to political functions. We are the secret sauce behind events that make you go, wow. We've staged multiple world-class events in the Caribbean and developed the skill to deliver quality in every detail, whether the event is live or fully virtual, or maybe even somewhere in between. At Open Interactive, we got your events covered. Get your free quotation today at www.madebyopen.com.
From April 28 to 2022, it has been an unprecedented era for the Virgin Islands, especially for those entrusted with roles as leaders, legislators. The issues: the arrest of Andrew Foy, then Premier of the Territory, the arrest of Director of BVI Ports Authority, Olivine Maynard, the Commission of Inquiry's recommendations, topping which is to partially temporarily suspend the Virgin Islands Constitution, all in a COVID-19 pandemic era. In the face of these, the Territory has seen a change in the Virgin Islands Party chairmanship, the proposal of and ultimate formation of a national unity government, and the appointment of Dr. the Honorable Natalia Whitley as Premier and Minister of Finance with responsibilities for agriculture and fisheries. In all of this, has the new Premier spoken directly to ex-Premier Foy?
Due to his circumstances, it's difficult to speak with him. He doesn't have any form of communication. Of course, there was a decision made by the courts in Miami that he would be released on bail. That decision has been challenged, and he remains in detention at this particular moment, of course. I'm not sure what level of communication we will have, but I just want to let the people of the Virgin Islands know, despite to what he has alleged to have committed, despite all of the ways in which the Virgin Islands is challenged because of what he is alleged to have been involved in, he's a human being. Certainly my thoughts and prayers are with him and with his family, especially his mother, who is mourning the loss of her daughter and now has to deal with the challenge of her son being detained and arrested. It's not my job to proclaim him innocent or guilty. He will go through the court process, and if he is found to be guilty, he will be punished for what he has alleged to have done. And I can only ask and pray to God that this experience helps him to become a better person.
Extracted from a special interview with Premier Whitley. Stay tuned for more coming soon on JTV. With this JTV News Update, Kathy Richards.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has dismissed criticism of his plans to help address the shortage of skilled laborers locally. Dwayne Anderson reports.
To import skilled workers or not? That question has become a subject of debate since Prime Minister Andrew Holness told the country that the shortage of certain skilled construction workers could force the government to allow overseas workers to come in and fill the demand. On Friday, Mr. Holness advanced the debate.
Jamaica can be the place where people choose to come to work. It don't matter where they come from. If they come here to work, the income that they work going to stay here. They might send back 20% of it, but 80% stays here.
He added that Jamaicans are engaged in the practice many are now seemingly opposed to.
We have been exporting our labor. Almost 25,000 Jamaicans leave every year. They send back 20%, and where the 80% stay. Whose economy have they been building? If we are going to rapidly build our economy, we need to create the infrastructure.
Mr. Holness further reasoned that many potential workers are now engaged in a life of crime, and he will try to find ways to get them into the local labor pool.
We intend to put in place a program to ensure that all our young persons become available to the labor force. So they have to go through, some of them, a program of national service to adjust their behavior, adjust their attitudes, and reset their mentality towards work. All the people who are into scamming, chopping, they could be very good workers in the BPO industry.
And speaking about jobs for young people in BPO businesses, Mr. Holness addressed concerns some people have about the sector.
Whilst I well understand the challenges of the BPO sector, the truth is that it is the fastest growing employment creation endeavor, business in Jamaica. And regardless of the complaints, it is putting income in the pockets of over 52,000 Jamaicans.
The Prime Minister was speaking in Portmore St. Catherine, where the Port Authority of Jamaica constructed over 150,000 square feet of new space for BPO businesses. It was done at a cost of $3.6 billion. Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
Now, the Prime Minister, in the meantime, continues to talk up the benefits of Portmore becoming a parish. He reminded stakeholders that the area has the largest number of university graduates locally, and he wants to help position Portmore to take advantage of that knowledge.
That is why I have supported and encouraged the Port Authority and other private sector companies to build these facilities, so that you can start to now really create the knowledge economy in Portmore. As I said, it's not a vision that everyone has, but my job is the chief vision officer, right? I have to go around and sell these visions to the agencies of government, to the residents and constituents, so that we can all start to pull together in the same direction.
Sri Lanka's Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has resigned after violent clashes broke out in the capital. For the latest, Rathindra Kuruwita joins us from Colombo. Rathindra, Mr. Rajapaksa has until now resisted calls to resign. Why act now?
Okay, so protesters as well as people from his own political party have been asking him to resign for the last few weeks. But the thing is, Rajapaksa is the most popular and the most charismatic politician we have had for the last few decades. So I think there was a belief that although the government is unpopular, Mahinda Rajapaksa is still popular. And I think he himself believed that, and the people around him also believed that. So that is why he didn't resign despite repeated calls by various sections for his resignation. So, but what happened, everything changed because of what happened in the morning in Sri Lanka. So yesterday, Mahinda Rajapaksa announced that he's willing to resign. And a lot of people expected, and as people expected, some of the local councillors who support him came to Temple Trees, his official residence, to have an audience with him. They came and they asked Mahinda Rajapaksa not to leave. And this is, everyone saw this coming, right? And after the protesters met Rajapaksa, they came out, they fought with some anti-government protesters near Temple Trees. Then they went to Gota Gogama at the Gold Face, and they assaulted protesters. They burned down tents, and then the police had to come in, the army had to come in, and there was chaos.
If I could cut in, Rathindra, pardon me. They have been asking not just the Prime Minister, but also the President to resign. Now, that's his brother. Now, of course, the Prime Minister has resigned. Is this resignation enough to quell the protests that are going on as we speak in Sri Lanka?
Oh, not at all. If you see what's happening after the protest, what has happened is almost everyone who's involved in the protest, people the buses that brought them in, the Rajapaksa supporters who attacked the protesters, right? So they came in buses. Now people spontaneously have come out to the roads, and they have assaulted they have destroyed the buses. They are now targeting pro Rajapaksa politicians, and a lot of pro Rajapaksa politicians who they suspect were involved in the morning's attacks have been assaulted. So, and several houses have been set on fire. So people are very angry. So if anything, the resignation has not done anything. They have strengthened calls for the resignation of the president and the entire government. And there's chaos on the roads. So the government right now has very little control over what's happening in the country. So I think if anything, what happened today is going to further strengthen calls for Gotabaya Rajapaksa's resignation.
All right, thanks very much indeed for all that. Rathindra Kuruwita speaking to us there from Colombo.
Football came back in fine style at the Warner Park Football Stadium on the weekend with 3 big matches to continue the 2021 SKNFA Premier League. On Friday, Hot Spring Bath United made a big dent in their efforts to avoid relegation with a 2-0 victory over Fast Cash Saddlers United. Goals were scored by Venreese Richards in the 18th minute and Kinesi Dorset in the 85th minute. After the match, coach of Bath United, Alex Clacton, said the win is crucial for the team to avoid relegation.
My thoughts on the game is that, number one, we set an objective, and first of all, the objective was to make sure that at halftime, no goal was conceded, and also we were in the lead, and they met that objective. Second half, the objective was also to make sure that no goal score, but at the same time make sure that any pressure, we suck up the pressure and wait until that moment comes and make use of the opportunity.
As for coach Kenroy Nibbs of Saddlers, he felt the long layoff from football had an impact on his team's preparations.
This is our first game initially since we resumed training. But what really go wrong is we just need to finish better. Because in playing the game, we have better possession and we have control over the game. But at the time, goals win the game. And we were outscored this evening.
The league continued on Saturday with Ram Village Superstars picking up a 2-0 victory over St. Peter's FC in a rescheduled round 1 match. Raheem Francis scored in the 4th minute for Village and Jabez Dorset in the 80th minute. Newly appointed coach and former Village player Kimari Rogers was elated with the win.
We stick to the game plan. We work on it all week. We know that what Monkey will come with after seeing them Wednesday. They already had a game on them, so we used today as the first 15 minutes as a little warm-up, feel them out, and then after that we come out and we just hit them. Right.
Coach Anthony Netz Isaac of St. Peter's, while disappointed with the loss, is not deterred by the result.
I think the turnaround was kind of too harsh on them, from the Wednesday game to now, because we endured some injuries in that game right there. So you see, in the first half, we lost one we left back, and then we lost Zidane, and then Shaggy in the second half right away. 3 remain players them. So unfortunately, as you can see, we lost the game, but not bad, as I would say.
Finally, on Sunday, SL Horswood St. Paul's FC nicked off Saul Island Auto Supply's Connery 2-1 in a Mother's Day encounter. Petres Williams scored in the 31st minute for St. Paul's before Kadeem Lewis equalized from the penalty spot in the second half in the 56th minute. Keith Roy Freeman, however, minutes later restored St. Paul's lead in the 64th minute. Coach Iroy Congo Jeffers hailed his team for a gritty win.
After from the President Cup, we just picking up from where we left off from last time around. Just win.
Coach Al Richards of Connery was satisfied with the team's fight and persistence, but just rued missing their chances to score.
It was a pretty good game, and we had chances in the first half, all through the second half. We just didn't execute in the final third. St. Paul get opportunity and no score. But my team really performed well. I was pleased enough. First game after a long break, I think we was ready and up for the task, but unfortunately we didn't get the result we wanted.
So here are the point standings after this weekend's results. The Premier League continues on Friday with double headers all weekend.
Welcome to the Skn Newsline Weather Report. I am Janil Boone. Here is a look at the 4-day forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. For a more detailed weather report, visit our website at www.sknnewsline.com.